Hi Virgo, welcome to your 29th to the 5th of February 2024. So this is going to be general energies for the week ahead. If you want to join the membership, there is now an exclusive membership, so check it out in the description. And this is going to go into tarot coaching, energy reads. It's going to be amazing. So if you really want to join, it is in the description below. If you want a gift to show appreciation, it's in the comments. And if you want to book a reading, it's in the description below. So, like the video and comment, let's take a look and see what we can see this week for Virgo. So, thank you for the views because Virgo did very well last week, so it's cool. What is the guidance and the advice for the sign of Virgo, the 29th to the 5th of February? The Ten of Swords reversed. I feel like until you change the story, until you change the mindset around the situation you're in, until you change the mindset around yourself, you might continue to be stuck. So the Ten of Swords reverse can also be someone who doesn't need to worry about betrayal or backstabbing. You're safe. I think we live in a society, especially at the times we're in, where a lot of people are just waiting for problems, they're waiting for attacks, they're waiting for problems. So actually the Ten of Swords reverse can also be, you're okay. We live in a world that wants you in constant fear about betrayal, about people. And sometimes it's okay to say, there's no problem, I'm okay. It's safe. And also what you can do for yourself is, obviously the world is getting dangerous, there is some problems. But your job is to, when fear takes over, whether it be you're talking to a partner, you're talking to someone you're interested in, maybe it's an opportunity, try to ground yourself in the moment and be like, is there any threat here? Do I feel threatened here? Or is it unconscious? Is it me going into the worst case scenario? So I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for Virgo this week, but you need to constantly catch yourself in old fear. Right? You need to constantly catch yourself in what is an old story, what is not true. Okay? Because if you do, there's some good stuff coming this week, okay? Business opportunities, definitely. Some of you are going to meet a woman who's got a lot of prospect, a lot of opportunity. And by not going into fear mode and paranoia mode, you'll open some new doors. What are we seeing for Virgos this week, please? What is the guidance messages for Virgos the week of the 29th? The Seven of Swords. So the mind is trying to trip you up. The past is trying to trip you up. This can be a person who lives in the limbic system. So the limbic system is our past pattern recognition of emotional abuse. Okay? It holds the amygdalas. So the amygdalas are our fear centers. Okay? And in this region of the brain, we tend to hold a lot of past stuff, and sometimes we can kind of be in that brain rather than in our prefrontal cortex. So the message for you this week is to be present and to know that the brain is only trying to protect you in what it knows in its past, but it doesn't make it relevant to the now. And your job is to not live in the past, but to start creating the future. And a lot of people can't love and they can't create anything because they're living in the past. And then you've got all the propaganda and we need to fight this person and this person's an enemy and fuck them and all this shit, right? We need to calm down. Everyone needs to calm down, okay? And we need to be calm and we need to give people the benefit of the doubt. And then should the doubt be no longer the doubt, we need to take care of the problem, okay? So there's something with you this week where your old self is trying to protect you. It's not trying to actually damage you, it's trying to protect you, but it's also damaging you because it's not telling you the true story about the people around you right now. It's not telling you the true story about the man you're speaking to or the woman you're speaking to. It's telling you the story about the man that betrayed you, the woman that betrayed you, the people that betrayed you. It's not true. And so it's sabotaging you, it doesn't mean to. For Virgos, there's a lot of good coming for you, a lot of new contracts, a lot of new opportunity, but it's very important this week that you are present. So I've got a Virgo ascendant, so it means for me this week in the world, I have to be present with people. So I'm not judging people based off the past people who've betrayed me. I'm judging them off who they are, okay, and what they're bringing to my world this week. So some of yours could be a Virgo moon. So your job this week is to make sure that past betrayals in love are not altering your perception in what could be a great love in the now. Okay? It's never easy doing your readings, Virgo. It's never easy, babies. Okay, what are we seeing for Virgos this week, please, that they most need to know? Happiness, baby. Happiness. Okay? So the Nine of Cups, yes, sometimes it can be the clown, it can be overindulgence. Again, I do think a lot of people, not judging, being doing it myself, I do think a lot of people are leaning on addictions, they're leaning on coping mechanisms. Some people are just completely checking out from the world. They can't handle it. And that's another message, don't check out. Okay? It is hard to go out there, especially with everything that's going on. But the more you can check in rather than check out, that's where the good stuff is going to be. Be careful with alcohol as well. Okay? So the Nine of Cups can be someone who's doing something, and I would say it's in the form of drinking. This can be loneliness can make us drink, boredom can make us drink, fear, anxiety, because it's an antidepressant. So yeah, some of you need to get on top of your alcohol, and some of you need to start looking at the way you're thinking, the stories you're telling yourself, how you're framing the world, because a lot of it is coming from past abuses, past partners. But when we think in the past, we create it in the future. Okay? But I feel like there's happiness coming if you want it. If you're willing to be present, if you're willing to be patient, there's happiness coming. The Eight of Cups reversed. So you see the way you've got the Nine of Swords? So the Nine of Swords is like something that's weighing on your mind, something that's torturing you. But then the Magician also popped out. I think it's time for you to face an anxiety, a fear. Okay? Because the Nine of Swords is often, a person who's got a lot of anxiety can have a trauma, they can have a lot of emotional energy that's still stored in the body. Some of you might need to reach out to a Reiki healer or a shaman. This is cleansing, this is, something needs to be faced. Because coming back to what I said, it's keeping you in isolation, it's keeping you lonely. It's now leading to destructive behaviours where you're using something to cope. It could be farming. There's no judgment. A lot of people are. The world is horrible. But we are the world, right? And a lot of people are not facing what needs to be faced. And because we keep checking out and using these coping mechanisms, it's just creating the vicious circle. So by you saying, okay, if you judge yourself, you won't heal yourself. Because everything you're drinking and eating, and when you're checking out, you'll blame yourself, right? It's like, I'm such a failure, I might as well just drink another drink, I might as well just... Don't do that, right? There's a lot of reasons why our generation and the generations are doing what they're doing. There's a lot going on. But if we keep making excuses, things are not going to end well. Okay? So I feel like the message here is to face an anxiety, to face a fear, to face your loneliness, to face your addictions or whatever it is you're in, because the Magician also popped out. So this is a week where if you've been out of your power, if you have been kind of leaning on disassociation, addiction or whatever you've been doing, you can actually look back in a few weeks and be in a really different place. Okay? This is where you want love, but your body closes off to it. And what that is the conscious mind wants to love, but the unconscious mind is stuck in trauma. It's stuck in outdated trauma. And so there's this confliction between conscious and unconscious where you want the love, but then you're also scared shitless and your body shuts down. If the body shuts down and moves away, you can't connect with people. Okay? So this is a week for you to say this is it once and for all. Somatic training, shaman, whatever you feel a connection to is what you should move towards. Okay? Devil reversed. There's nothing to fear. No more fear, no more the devil reversed is the devil upright is someone who's in addiction, they're in bondage. The devil is taunting them, whereas the devil reversed is people who've broken with bondage. The other side of the coin is, I'm telling you this, that humans are very formidable creatures. You can do the worst kind of things to a human and they'll survive. The problem with these generations, maybe this is what this war that's coming is about, the wake-up call, the reality check, that for a long time we was very, very coddled and very, very protected. You know, if you look at the generations that were in the First World War and the Second World War, they didn't get to live the way we live. This breaking point was always going to happen. The way we've been acting, like petulant children. Okay, so I'm not willing this, because if this comes, it's not going to be good. But what happens, like nature, is when we are acting out of alignment, something has to come in to knock us back into alignment, to wake us up. And sometimes the only way we can get there is in great trauma and great tragedy, because otherwise we just won't wake up. Sometimes the only way we can go love again is just sitting there at night and feeling so lonely, that it's like, I'm so scared of humans, I'm so scared of love, but I can't feel this loneliness anymore. Okay, so sometimes God's teachings or God's delivery is kind of feels like punishment, but it's deliverance, it's release. Okay, it's when a person gets told, if you keep drinking you're going to die, if you keep smoking you're going to die. So that's the thing that pushes them to stop doing it, and then it leads them to deliverance. So there's something about deliverance for you. There's something about enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't. You know, I need to come to my power. I need to live again. I need to create again. I need to connect again. There's something powerful for you this week, okay? Now, for the Virgos who are gangsters and showing off, okay? We're not talking to you, are we? Mr. Perfect, Mrs. Perfect. We're not talking to you, okay? We know. We're all just peasants down here and yous at the top. We know. I think for yous are keeping the world together. Like, we do need those high minds. We do need those regulated people. We do need those common sense people now, because they're the people who are keeping humanity off the cliff, basically. You know, so respect to you. So for yous, I don't really get this for yous, other than it's okay to save the world, it's okay to help the world, but don't forget about yourself. Because as a teacher, that's what I did. Like, I'm just that type of person. I'm kind of all in. I'm like, I just fall off the cliff, like I'm all in. But we've got our own lives to live. We're not here to save everyone. We're not here to tell everyone how to act. You know, we've got our own shit. We've got our own heart. We've got our own health. So for yous, like, it's good to have a mission. It's good to have a purpose, but also take care of you. The devil reversed. Don't allow yourself to fall into anything that's obsessive or consuming. And all consuming is where you go out into the world and you become a martyr of the world. You're trying to save everybody else. Whereas balance is where you do your bit, but you also have your own world, and you know where to set the line, okay? What else for Virgos this week, please, that we need to tell them? Love and happiness, the sun. So I feel like the other side of the coin is, I feel like for some of you Virgos, it is time to be happy again. I do think it's time to go out there and prioritise happiness and health and well-being, and to see the good in the world. But a lot of it is to do with getting out of an isolated period, so getting out of something that's a prison, something that's caging you in, something that's stopping your happiness. And I think some of you, it's irrational anxiety, it's old outdated fears, it's things that aren't even true. You know, it's not even true. You know, so yeah, some of yous this week, it's like there's a chance to be happy, there's a chance for liberation. Justice is all about balance, it's all about severance. And this is where you take something and you weigh it up. So an anxiety has taken over you, and instead of feeding the anxiety and falling prey to it and crippled by it, you sit down and you weigh up that fear. Is it true? That's what Libra does. Libra balances it out. Libra judges it. the pros, the cons, the two sides, right? I'm also getting potentially, I feel like there's a case for Virgo where it's feeding the worst case scenario, but you're actually going to get a good outcome. There's happiness coming, there's justice coming, there's fairness coming. Okay? Obviously, there's the typical fuckboy situation, so there's the typical immature masculine, and the Nine of Swords is you stressing over this masculine or this feminine. Okay? There could be issues around a child. I feel like there's also issues around parental rights when it comes to a child or income. Okay? So this could be, for example, someone who's trying not to pay for the child, someone who maybe is trying to take the children away. Okay? But I feel like there's going to be a fair outcome, there's going to be justice, the right thing is going to be done. Tell me about this Nine of Swords, please. The Fool. So some of you, you're dealing with a Peter Pan, you're dealing with someone who, this person doesn't want to put down roots. So this can be where you're kind of overthinking a person, you're overthinking a situation, you're torturing yourself over another person, you can't make them commit. Some of you are dealing with a childish masculine, this masculine is a mess. As a healer or a teacher, stay away from people who can't be helped. Remember we talked about humanity going off the cliff? Some people are going to fall prey to the darkness, some people are going to, you can't stop them. You're not God. So as a teacher, as a healer, as some of you as well, this is about a masculine who you really love, but this person just doesn't want it. This could be a person who's in prison, going to prison. This is a person who's stuck in patterns, stuck in a cycle, they can't break out. This can be a person who's very reckless, and even though it's dangerous, they just don't know how to be any other way. You know? This can be a man who just he doesn't know how to be a loving, committed person. He doesn't know how to build into something else. All he will ever be is a Peter Pan. He can't be emotionally deep. Now, I'm not saying he'll never be that, but right now he's not ready to be that. And your job is to not sit around for a man who's not ready to be what you need him to be. And that's it. I think it's a time to show compassion and be reasonable, and it's also a time to be ruthless. We've been through enough pain, we've had enough people waste our time, we've had enough people sales pitches and not deliver. Do us a favour, say what you mean and mean what you say, or get the fuck off, get away from me. No. Same as you. I feel like some people are giving up on you because they've just had enough. It's like, you're not changing, you're not doing the work, no. So if people are giving up on you, it's like they've just had enough. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people are exhausted, I think they're tired, I think they've just had enough. People have had enough of the bad energy, the drama, the dickhead, they've had enough, go away. So if you're finding that people don't want to be near you, they don't want to, they've had enough, okay, yeah. So someone is pulling back here, Page of Swords to the Devil reversed, someone just doesn't want to be in a sex-only commitment, they don't want to be in immaturity, they don't want to be... The Page of Swords is a person who's always, spying and investigating, they don't want to be in that. They want to know where they stand. They want consistency, anchor. And this could be you as well, you might want consistency and anchor and stable people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you, it's time to do the work so you can actually feel stable within yourself. You've felt so aimless, so all over the place, so disorientated, but some of you, it's your own behaviour. You've got to take control of your vessel. You've got to take control of your mind. No one's coming to save you. It's going to get dark out of you. And only the strong are going to survive. Honestly, truthfully. And this is not about being better than other people. It really is that fact that if you are not stable of mind, if you cannot, it's going to get too dark for most people, just won't be able to handle it. But people who've got the right people around them, people who've got it together within themselves, they'll be kind of everything will be going off, and they'll be the strong anchor where, as the world is falling apart, they'll be the kind of the captain at the ship, you know, the captain at the wheel sort of thing. Because I'm not that type of person. I'm a flapper, you know. If shit goes down, I'm like, oh my fucking god. Whereas I see some people, shit's going down and they're all calm, and I'm like, really though, you know, like. But I like those people, because if you're someone who's not like that, it's kind of good to have those people, because they're like, all right, calm the fuck down, chill out, like, let's handle it. Maybe you need those people in your life, or maybe you need to become that version for people in your life. Then I want reversed. I think it's also about being honest about who you are. You know, it's about being honest about who you are, because, you know, I was talking to a woman today about, like, she was a business owner. You could tell she was proper powerful, and she owned businesses and whatever. And I just said, like, I can't do what you do. I'm just not like that. I'm not made like that. I am the creative. I'm just not made like that. And she was like, well, you're going to have to get people who are. She's like, look, yeah, I have to make money. She went, I get it, you know, you're passionate and all that, but, like, you'd have to make money. I was like, yeah. You know, so what I'm saying is, you could want to set up a business, but you're more the talent, you're more the face, where you need the business, you need the people who can be like, okay, but you need to do this, this and this to be able to achieve the goal. Some of you are pursuing a partner, but sometimes you need the opposite of what you are. Sometimes we go after people who are too much like us, and it doesn't work. Sometimes, I know my husband, he's very level-headed. My husband's not like me. I'm very emotional, but that's what my power is. My power is I am emotional. I will jump in the ocean and save people. My husband is more, okay, you know, chill. Like, I get it, but no, you know. So what I'm saying for you as Virgos is, maybe you need the opposite of what you are to be successful. Sometimes to be successful in love, you need to find, if you're too logistical, you might need to find someone who's more emotional. If you're too emotional, maybe you need to find someone who's more logistical. I do think sometimes people tend to attract what they are a little bit too much, and sometimes it's best to start going for a different type. Sometimes you don't get success in career because you haven't got all the fundamentals, you haven't got all the parts to make it work. It doesn't mean you're not talented, it doesn't mean you don't have potential, but you just haven't got all the components, you haven't got the team, you haven't got the people who can make the dream happen. Okay, so I feel like this week, get out your head, start networking, start changing your approach. I feel like some of you are demonising yourself, like you're really not treating yourself kindly. Now, there is a time to give yourself a pep talk and tell yourself where it's at. But if you do it too much, you can destroy yourself. You know? There's many reasons for why people act the way they act. So it's being real with yourself, honest with yourself, giving yourself the kick up the ass that you need, but also being compassionate to yourself and understanding of yourself the way you would with another person. Okay? Virgos are exceptional people. And I'll finish with, for the Virgos who are kind of looking down on people, I don't see how that's going to bring unity. I don't see how that's going to bring happiness. I don't see how that's going to bring collective success. I know, as the Nine of Cups, if you're very, very successful, most people look like idiots. But you've got two choices. You can either be the biggest guy in the room, or you can help other people to get up to that level too. You know? And that's what true winners do. Because the Nine of Cups is kind of you acting like the big dog and you're like the biggest fish in the room. But you know what they say, if you're the best man in the room, you're in the wrong room. And so there's something with Virgo where, yeah, you are the top dog and you do look the part, but it's all you. And a real winner helps other people win. And then as you become bigger and bigger, you put yourself in more and more uncomfortable rooms where you look like the small person. That's what a true winner does. That's what a true successful person does. They always put themselves in a room where they seem less than they are. And so they become the best. And they also help to make the best as well. But there's something about breaking out of a prison, breaking out of overthinking. I feel like for some of you Virgos, the people that you're around are very low class, low vibe. And so you've got to know the difference between people who can be helped and then people you should stay away from. I'm not trying to be mean. There is a lot of people now who just like the poison. And so you've got to know the difference between people who are struggling, who generally deserve the time and the energy, and people who are just like, they will burn you alive. Like they'll fuck up your shit. They'll stab you in the neck. Like, I'm not joking. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm like observing who is worth the time, and then other people I'm making sure they know. Move it then. Because Virgos we can read right through people. We know when danger is present. We're very psychoanalytical, so we know who's to be trusted, and we know who's dangerous, and we know who's a problem. But what I would say for you is there's so much good coming for you, but you can't fear the world. There's nothing in that. I think some of you are kind of sensing all the danger. Well, you've got two choices. You can hide, or you can go out there and thrive. And you can use your enemies and the danger and the challenges of the world to make yourself better and other people better. I do think a lot of people are in cocoon position. They're kind of like, fuck that. But if you stay too much in the mind, it will become a self-imposed prison, and it'll erode you. It'll be far more dangerous than if you go out into the dangerous world. Okay? So if you want a coaching session with me, because I do think some of you Virgos, like if you want to do the tarot coaching, everything is available below. If you want to join my new membership, it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm a Gemini with a Virgo ascendant, so but yeah, there's going to be loads of different coaching, just advice, like different stuff on there. If you want to book a reading, you can, and if you want to show support for these videos, in the comment section, you can gift. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon.